might have learned about the Tuskegee Airmen in school, and if you're like me, you learned that they were great soldiers who served their country proudly in spite of racism at the time. What you didn't learn was that the U.S. military treated them worse than the Germans. See, after they had served, and there's a whole lot of history about their service in Europe, there was a time that 104 of them were arrested for trying to integrate their own officers' club in 1945. In fact, the base in Indiana created a second officers' club for the black pilots, the black officers. It was lovingly referred to as Uncle Tom's Cabin. Of the 104 who were arrested, most of them were eventually released from the charges, but 3 of them were actually court-martialed, and one of them was actually given a dishonorable discharge, a reduction in rank, and fined $150. That was only undone 50 years later by President Clinton. If you saw the recent Top Gun movie and the one that came out back when I was none of your business, then you may know that this is a real competition. But you probably didn't learn that the Tuskegee Airmen were the winners of the first ever Top Gun competition. In fact, when they had the awards ceremony and the scores were announced, their names were called. No one clapped. It was completely silent. One reporter from one news outlet took one photograph of the 4 pilots with their trophy, a trophy which mysteriously got lost and was found over 50 years later in a storage unit. So they never even received their trophy. Why? Why do we only learn the part where they were the good little soldiers who served their country? Why don't we learn what the military did to them and what people stateside thought of them? We don't want to own up to it. There are excellent books about this, and of course films too. One of the best is called Double Victory. And it was about a campaign that was started stateside by many groups like the NAACP. And it was about how basically our black soldiers had to not only defeat the Germans, they had to defeat their own countrymen. So I urge you to check it out.